we begin with this. Take a look.
If you don't like me working with President Trump to make the world a better place, I don't give a
Senator Lindsey Graham was a loyal friend. He was a good person, a true American patriot, had a backbone of steel, one of a kind. Lindsey Graham could stand up to the left-wing mob like no other. You might remember during the Kavanaugh witch hunt, this very powerful moment of clarity from Senator Graham. It saved Kavanaugh's nomination, and he single-handedly brought sanity back to the U.S. Senate. Take a look.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. Would you say you've been through hell?
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview.
Yeah.
This is hell. This is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I have seen in my time in politics. You want this seat? I hope you never get it. I hope you're on the Supreme Court. That's exactly where you should be. And I hope that the American people will see through this charade. And I wish you well, and I intend to vote for you, and I hope everybody who's fair-minded will.
Wow. Powerful. Now, during the hearing, Senator Graham was heckled by a group of left-wing agitators outside the Capitol, but in true Lindsey Graham form and fashion, he just donned a smile, adjusted his tie, and became a shining example of how to tune out a mob. At the very same time, Senator Graham played a very critical role debunking the Russia hoax. The senator stood by President Trump through thick, through thin, even through their friendship. It got off to a rocky start. That's all the media has been focused on because during the 2016 Republican primaries, the pair did battle it out. Trump even read out Graham's phone number during a press conference. I've been together with them when they actually joked about these moments. But instead of getting angry, nope, Senator Graham did exactly this. Take a look.
Or if all else fails, you can always give your number to the Donald. This is for all the veterans.
By the way, I think that number is still on his Facebook page. Now, Senator Graham, the guy I knew, the friend I had, he was hilarious, not afraid to ever mix it up, even if, well, that meant a curse word here or there, even on this show. Take a look. So they want to institutionalize aiding and abetting lawbreaking, and take it a step further, and obstruction. And then they want to reward those people that broke laws with your hard-earned tax dollars and benefits, right? Health, education, etc.
Total.
Stop
it. We had the Abraham Accords where people were recognizing Israel, and dumb Biden comes along and tears it all up. Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, $500 million verdict against the Trump family. This bull needs to come to end.
I'm not going to put up with this crap anymore. I'm going to sue. I'm going to sue the hell out of these people.
We're not going to stop till the New York Times and the Washington Post, who haven't done a damn thing to get to the bottom of any of this, who want to pull the prize for spreading bull.
Give it back.
Give it back. We're not stopping.
I mean, you got to love that. Senator Graham loved debate. He loved his job. No one on Capitol Hill ever worked harder, traveled more than Lindsey Graham. But contrary to this narrative that has emerged among some, isolationist circles, Lindsey Graham, he believed in fighting evil, but he didn't love war. Actually, he wanted peace. He wanted to end the conflict in Ukraine and all the conflicts in the Middle East. He wanted a new Abraham Accords, Abraham Accords Plus. He also knew we do not live in a bubble. He simply recognized evil for what it is, and it does exist. And like President Trump, he knew it had to be eradicated before any path to peace could ever emerge. His dream, and he stated it often, never gets credit for it, is that every country in the Mideast would recognize Israel's right to exist and agree to the Abraham Accords or something similar, and that a path to peace would exist for a long period of time to come. So Senator Graham touted the president and his peace through strength, no forever war, America first strategy all over the world, in spite of what some people say. He believed in our country, our way of life. He served our country for more than 3 decades in the Air Force, Air National Guard, and Air Force Reserve. He loved the people of South Carolina. He loved his family. He loved his sister. Tomorrow, she will be the new senator from the great state of South Carolina. Once referred to her brother, Lindsey, as a father, a brother, a mother, all wrapped into one, after Graham adopted her as a young man when she was only 13 years old, following the deaths of both of their parents. And now, after an endorsement from President Trump and the governor of South Carolina, as I said, his sister, Darlene, will serve out the rest of Lindsey Graham's term starting tomorrow at about 2:30 Eastern in the U.S. Senate. Take a look at this.
I know Lindsey was loved and respected by many, and I greatly appreciate the memories and even the funny stories that have been shared. These shared experiences, along with our faith, have gotten us through these past 2 very difficult days. My brother was the most amazing person, outstanding leader, and just a genuinely good man. He was kind and considerate and loved by his family dearly. As I think everyone would agree, Lindsey worked harder than anyone. He worked nonstop to make our state, country, and world better.
Darlene showed amazing strength today, and I know that her brother Lindsey was looking down and would be very proud. On a personal note, Senator Graham was a great friend, and he will be missed on this program. He made a lasting impact on America and the world. We are forever, forever grateful. All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.